an erosion of rights or an appropriate national security measure. Britain's House of Commons approved the government's plan to extend the number of days a terrorism suspect can be held without charge from 28 to 42 days. But one student who downloaded an Al-Qaeda manual for his PhD depicts what civil liberty campaigners describe as an overzealous climate to combat terrorism. Rizwan Sabir spent 6 days in a small cell without charge.
You're not told anything. You're literally taken into an interview room for an hour and just dripped information. So we found this, and we've got this statement, and this proves this, and you're lying to us, Rizwan, aren't you? And what are your real intentions? And you're using your studies as a smokescreen. And so this is the kind of psychological torture and the criminalisation of innocent people. They knew that I was innocent. They said to my solicitor that I was innocent, and they knew that I was innocent. Yet they continued to try and dig up information about me to try and find something that they could use in a court of law to prosecute me and send me to prison. That was the whole objective of the investigation.
The government insists the 42-day measure would only be used in rare cases when an exceptional terrorist threat exists, adding that each case would have to be approved by Parliament.
The government is determined to give the police the powers they need to tackle terrorism. That is why it is right and proper to legislate now to put in place the reserve power to go beyond 28 days in future.
The 6-week detention puts Britain out of step with other Western democracies. In Canada, it is 1 day, 2 days in the United States, Germany, South Africa and New Zealand, and 5 in Spain.
In truth, there is not one single example where the 28 days was not enough. And I just don't think you can play around with people's rights in an open society, either to promote fear or for short-term political advantage. I am pleased to say that I voted against that extension, and I am pleased that the legislation will be thrown out in the House of Lords or by the European courts. The real question for us as a Labour government is why we would play about with the removal of rights in a democratic and open society when that's precisely what Al-Qaeda wants us to do.
Alan Simpson protested to the Home Office against the cases in his constituency, that of Rizwan Sabir and Hisham Yezza, who is another person to suffer. Hisham Yezza is a university staff who had been asked by Rizwan to print the 1,500-page document. Yezza, upon release, was immediately rearrested on unrelated immigration charges, and despite his 13 law-abiding years of life in Britain, now faces a deportation to Algeria.
The reason why I was arrested is because of institutional racism. One of the police officers said to my PhD supervisor that had this been a young Scandinavian PhD student, blonde hair, blue eyes, she would never have been arrested. So this is the thing, if you're young and you're Muslim and you fit a certain stereotype, then you are liable to be arrested.
This is the document in question, the Al-Qaeda Training Manual. It is not only openly available for downloading on the US government website, but also on the websites of the Federation of American Scientists and the US Department of Justice. You can even that the climate of terrorism-related fear can lead to the interrogation of innocent academics and researchers. Many MPs object to what they say is violation of civil liberties. The vote in the House of Commons went down to the wire and was won only by 9 votes. Even senior police officers who supported an extension of the 28-day limit on practical grounds now see the 42-day plan as impractical. The proposal faces a battle in the House of Lords to finally get onto the statute books, but critics still hope that it will never get there. Daria Peshkova, RT, London.